What's up, guys, and welcome back to Try Time Podcast. I'm Matt, and you joined me for what is the start of a, albeit 2-video long, Championship week, where we take a look at everything that's about to kickstart in the new Championship season, kicking off this Friday at Bellevue for you old school fans, as Wakefield take on Bradford. We're going to have our big preview, similar to the Super League and the NRL one. Check those out if you haven't already, on Wednesday's pod. But in the meantime, we're here for potentially the final kit video of the year, until inevitably all the special edition shirts come out, and then, who knows? No doubt there'll be more. So without further ado, let's jump into the best and the worst of the Championship kits for the 2024 season. Now, you all want to know the worst, so I'm going to wind you up a little bit and keep you around and start with the best of these. And there's some absolute belts this year in the Championship. I think this is one of the best years for kits we've ever seen. I really struggle with the worst list. Kicking off the best is the Barrow away shirt. Now, what do I like about this? It's a classic colour palette. No matter which sport you think of, black and gold, it's synonymous as working well. Be it football shirts, rugby shirts, the John Player Special Lotus Formula 1 card, it screams class, it's elegant. This is no different. The fact that the colourway, all sponsors, the club badge, the only thing that's not on brand is the actual league sleeve patch, which that's fundamentally not going to change for anybody. They've done a great job with it. I genuinely think it's a beautiful shirt, and I cannot wait to see them play in it this year. In at number 4, and this was tough almost picking even just 5 because there are so many great shirts. But in at number 5, I've gone for the Sheffield away shirt. It's a really nice shirt. It's a really smart colour palette. The blue and blue has worked brilliantly for lots of other teams in the recent seasons. Hull KR this year as well. Their away shirt follows a similar scheme and looks really good. What I'm liking about this one, I love the V pattern in the almost pixelated blue. The little flashes of yellowy green in there for the eagle's beak is, again, a really nice detail. Love this shirt. Quality release from Sheffield and O'Neill's in general. Jumps into the third, and this is actually quite a similar sort of kit, I guess, in terms of what they've aimed to do here. I've gone for the Doncaster away shirt. Now, why this one? Again, this sums up everything I love about kits in general. It's 70s, 80s geometric sort of abstract design. The white and the blue Doncaster traditional colours feed into a very vibrant orange base. It's recognisable. It's striking. It's a great design. It's very Luton Town, if we want to make more comparisons. The one thing I will say about this design, and it reminds me of another shirt which I love, and that one is not from the Championship. It's, funnily enough, our community club partners, Egmont Rangers. They've got a beautiful shirt, which is a white shoulder palette, blue lower, and you've got the blue and red triangle motif going across the white. It works fantastically. It's a gorgeous shirt. At some point, I will probably be rocking one on the pod. And that's enough about Doncaster, or is it? Because at number 2, I've got their home shirt. I don't know what it is about this shirt. It just works. Everything about it for me works. I like the blue pinstripes across the yellow bars across the front. I think the sponsors work really well. The fact how it's all lined up in the blue. Not only does that give the maximum contrast with the white text and logos, it keeps everything clean. Even the blue pinstripe on the top band is above the 2 shoulder sponsors. That is the attention to detail that turns this from a really nice kit into one of the best kits in the league. And it's not just because it reminds me of 1990s Parma vibes, but that is a very, very big plus point too. And into number 1. But before I do that, I'm going to go through some honourable mentions just quickly. The Dewsbury home shirt, I love the little Rams logo that goes all across the front of the shirt. Unfortunately, the blue in YBS kind of just doesn't really go with the flow. That's ultimately made it miss out. I think the Batley away shirt is surprisingly interesting. I think it just is let down again by quite a boxy main sponsor, albeit it is tied in nicely with the colourway. And finally, the Bradford Bulls home shirt. Callum will not be happy that this has missed out on the top 5, but for me it had to. Whilst it's the iconic V of the Bulls colours, I love the fact this carries on down the sides and up the sleeves. It just feels a little bit too much like something we've seen before in recent years. There's not that interesting quirk or something that really makes it stand out to quite crack of this year's very competitive kits. And without any further ado then, the number 1, my best shirt in the championship, for me is the Whitehaven away or alternate jersey. I've loved this since it was ever first released. It's, in my opinion, one of the greatest shirts in the entirety of rugby league this year. The blue and amber of the club crest tied through onto this navy/purpley background. It almost looks a bit like when Melbourne used to have the really dark shirts. It's just classy. It incorporates the sponsors really well. They all fit in with the design. Nothing looks too messy. The colours all work. And it does what every good away shirt should do, and that is be something different. There's no point having away shirts that follow convention or just generally don't really do much. Now, that's what would, in my opinion, make a bad away shirt. But what's made the bad shirts in general? This is the bit you stuck around for. My worst 5 kits in the championship this year. And I'm going to start things off strong with this one. I'm going to go for a shirt that I've put in here for the last couple of years, and unfortunately it's the same. It's the Swinton home shirt. And you know exactly what I'm going to say because we make a joke about it all the time. It's the sponsor. It's the Glossops Caravans logo that has once again ruined what would otherwise be a 10 out of 10 shirt. I absolutely love the base design of this. Not only does the V carry on below the caravan, the orange doesn't work, the text looks messy as it cuts across the blue and the white. You've completely missed the opportunity to have the point of the V going into the caravan, which would have at least made it look like you've attempted to incorporate the design into something a bit better in the kit. It looks like they've made a cracking shirt and then thought, oh shit, we've got to put our sponsor on. I mean, I'm not a big fan of their away shirt either with the colour scheme of it, but at least being on a playing background, the sponsor doesn't look like it interferes with the kit. But yeah, home shirt, once again, unfortunately, not for me. The next one I'm going to go for is another one that should be up near the best, but one small detail lets it down. It's the Dewsbury away shirt. And this is again going to sound like a weird one, because I love the colours of this kit. I think it's an absolutely gorgeous colour green they've gone for. I think the black panelling under the arms on the side really contrasts. They've colour-weighted this sponsor logo of YBS on this one, and even carried that through to AW Lum on the back, which I think, again, really smartens the shirt up. There's 2 things, however, that do bug me. And the first one is the motif. Now, they've gone for the ram of the Dewsbury Rams logo, which, let's be honest, is a really nice feature. I think that is a brilliant addition to the shirt. What they have done, however, is they've not carried this through the entire way, which I think is a real shame. I think we could have seen something better done with this. It also annoys me that the top 2 show the sponsors cut through the black line that signifies the first band. If we're going to have bands to distinguish where the motif is and isn't present, at least build them around the sponsors. You know, come on, it's sloppy decision-making process like this that have kind of just stopped this from being a really top tier shirt for me. And whilst I would ordinarily keep this well away from the bottom 5, this year just has too many nice kits that it's slept in. Going into my third worst shirt of the year then. And it's another one that I would normally not even consider putting here. But due to the quality of the league, I've got to. It's the Widnes home shirt. And this is, again, a shirt that really is quite ordinarily okay. I like the fact they've gone for the heritage badge this year on the home shirt and really incorporated that into the design, putting it as the backdrop of the white. You know, there's not really any sponsors that clash. My big problem with this is it's just rather dull. You could walk past this and not even realise someone's wearing a Widnes shirt. Other than the big badge, it just lacks identity. And I think if we're going to be honest for a second, does the large badge motif really translate well on an actual fan's shirt? I'm not convinced it does, personally. Yeah, there's not really anything to fall out with, but there's also not much to like. It's a very mid shirt, and as I've said probably more times than anything else in this video, the shirts in the Championship this year are all so good that mid ultimately puts you down the bottom. But what about the worst two then? Well, I'm going to kick this off with a controversial one. I'm going to say the Halifax home shirt is one of the worst kits in the league this year. And I'll tell you for why. It just doesn't look like the same shirt. It looks like sat in this committee meeting, they've been presented with two different shirt options. The first one is the traditional Halifax stripes. The second is a V design. And they've thought, which do we go for? And in the end, they've not made a decision and tried to put both together, and it just hasn't worked. The biggest problem with it, because of the size of the blue V under the neck, the white that covers either side is too big. It's too much empty space. At least with Widnes, with the badge motif there, the space was used. This isn't. You've also got sponsors put on a diagonal to intersect the V. It looks tacky. We all know I hate sponsors that segue a colour change. It destroys the clean look of the shirt. I'll be fair to the sponsor, Eclipse Energy does tie in really well with the colour scheme. They've gone for a single panther motif at the bottom of the V. Again, it's a nice feature to have. It feels like something that they've not really explored further. But it's nothing compared to number one. And this is the one shirt I would say I truly dislike in the league. And it's the Featherstone Rovers away shirt. Now, design-wise, I actually don't have a problem with this. I think the home shirt is, again, a really nice one that was unlucky to miss the top 5. The sponsors are all nicely integrated in their sections. The colourways all work. For me, it's this blue and teal combination that just doesn't look great together, especially in the early rounds of the season. When we saw it at pre-season friendly, when the teal gets mucky, it looks really quite a gross colour. I don't know who's thought this was the one to sign off. You've got a great base design, and for me, unfortunately, you've ruined it with a questionable colour combination. I'd have much rather have seen you go black instead of the blue, or if you really wanted to keep the club colours, just invert the home kit and have the dark blue base with white stripes. You know, do something a bit different. Because for me, it just doesn't work together. That's my opinion, at least. Let me know yours in the comments below, and also let me know who you think is going to win / get promoted / whatever out of the Championship this year. Just see if me and Callum agree on Wednesday, so be sure to subscribe for that one. And until next time, goodbye.